A few weeks ago, I was looking at a map, and my eyes were drawn to Central Asia because I didn't know much about the region. And I prayed and asked the Lord, what are you doing there? Which people are the Lord using? How's His Spirit moving in that place? My name is Rob. I come from Orlando, Florida. I really love people and getting to know their individual stories and seeing how God is weaving those together is really beautiful. I'm a musician and I love songwriting, and I'm hoping that these parts of my personality and life are good ways to connect with these different people. So this is kind of the first stop, or the first city, having flown in Orlando to New York to Moscow, and now Moscow to Central Asia. And it's a gorgeous view here. You can see the river and the town down below. And yeah, happy to be here. I'm just trying to take it all in, still kind of tired from the trip, of course, a little jet lagged, but excited to be here, and kind of it's invigorating being up here. So looking forward to seeing what else happens today. So one of the field workers here told me about the symbolism of this flag, and there's 40 rays on it, and each one representing one of the tribes of this people group. It's just so cool how God is diverse and He's drawing all people to Himself, and even in a place like this, there's so much diversity but unity, and it's great to see that in the kingdom. The guest house we stayed in was wonderful. It was started by a worker years ago, and it's still a haven for Christian workers in the region. We prayed and sang. It was great encouragement before we kind of left this town and went out into the rest of the country.
Rob, here we go.
I don't know the lyric, but we'll do it together.
Let God arise and His enemies be scattered. Let God arise and His enemies be scattered. Let God arise and His enemies be scattered. Let God arise.
We went to this market, large space, this old Soviet structure, which was really powerful. I really loved the interaction between the people there and the merchants. That was personal. One lady I wanted to really connect with, she was selling some candy, and we went in and I asked her what her favorite ones were, what she would recommend for me. So that was a fun experience, kind of my first real touch at someone in the region. The road up to the mountain village was amazing. I really got to see so many different types of landscapes along the way. One was really beautiful, where this expansive lake was below as we passed by on the road, and I got to kind of run out on this ledge overlooking it, throw some stones down there, and just kind of bask in the glory of God's creation in this new place. You know, in Scripture, when it talks about make a joyful noise unto the Lord, I think a lot of people think of that as singing, and I think that absolutely is true. But in other times, it's just instrumental, or humming, whistling, or I like to bring along this little blue recorder I call the magic flute and play songs to the Lord. So you're not getting audio, you're just getting, or do you want audio? Because I could play something better with audio if you want. What was that song we were playing earlier?
Do you notice that you have less breath up here too?
Yeah, I like it though. And that's definitely a joyful noise, and be in a state of prayer and meditation and just, share that moment with him. A really strong symbol and part of this culture's history is a yurt. And along the trip, we saw one along the side of the road and decided to stop and take the opportunity to meet some locals. Hospitality is a huge part of this culture, and they definitely lived up to that, welcoming us with a traditional drink that was fermented grain. And they passed it around in a communal fashion and wanted us to try it. I tried it, and very different, unique flavor. It was just really warm. Being strangers and being welcomed in like that just doesn't happen often. We arrived in the mountain village about 5 hours later, and I was feeling an excitement and a curiosity, really, to be staying with a local family for a couple nights. What a privilege. After all, this is why God led me here.